Hi, it's Will from StoneTheCastle.com, and here on YouTube you know me as Epic Fantasy, and this is my latest tutorial. This is how to make a Knights Templar sword out of foam board or cardboard. Nice sword, it's almost 40 inches long, one-hander and a two-hander, and I give you everything in the template. The template is absolutely free. You can download it and print it and use it to make your sword, even that ornament there, the Templar cross. And one sheet of foam board is all you need to do this project. See, I got it all laid out there, I got it all figured out for you. And the filler, the blood groove in this, I show you a neat little technique in this video for getting your paper off of foam board very, very easily, just like that. Dioramas, origami, catapults, and trebuchets, telescopes, terrariums, bonsai trees, and paper games, swords and shields, and real blacksmithing, model rockets, animation. I teach the art of real creation. StoneTheCastle.com. Let's make something. Okay, print up the template. It's only 3 pages, and it has everything you need. And this is a really simple build, but it actually comes out pretty good. I like the way we've done this. So the link to where to print this up is in the description of this video down below. And then cut out all the various pieces. Now, one thing about this handle piece here, the handle and the guard, you can see that section that's kind of like striped out. Don't cut that out yet. We're going to cut that out later. But for now, just cut around it like that. And cut out all the blade pieces. There's 3 of them. Right, and then cut out those 2 Templar crosses also. So let's lay it out. We got our handle like this, still have that in it. And then lay your blade pieces out on a table like this. They're numbered, and the numbers are upright so you can tell which way is which. 1, 2, and 3. Now do your best to get that lined up nice and straight, all 3 of those pieces, because it'll make a difference in how your sword looks. So get those 3 lined up really, really well, as straight as you can get them, and then tape them together. And then trim the tape and trim the edges where the pieces meet so everything's nice and straight. The straighter it is, the better it's going to look. So now there's our sheet of foam board, and you're going to lay out your pieces, your template pieces on the foam board, and then trace them like that. We're going to do 2 blade pieces, so you lay them out diagonally, and you'll see what I mean by 2 of them. But then you trace around it with a pencil. See, in this one you see the 2 blade pieces, just make note of that. Now the 2 handle pieces, trace 2 handle pieces and then cut out that section that's striped. So we've done 2 blades, we've done 2 handles, and now you cut out that area. And you make 2 of those. And that's everything. This is a pretty easy project. It comes out nice, very elegant looking, simple sword, which was part of the Knights Templar thing. They didn't believe in ornamentation. And you've got your 6 pieces that make up the sword. And it's a pretty big size sword, so go ahead and cut them all out. And a quick tip when you're cutting foam board is I don't show it in this video. I've kind of edited it out, but if you make 3 passes with your knife, you'll do a nice job of cutting cleanly. The first pass cuts the paper, second pass cuts the foam, and the third pass will cut the bottom layer of paper. And you can make nice cuts that way. So there's 2, and then the third pass I only needed to touch it up. So what you end up with is 6 pieces, 2 blades, 2 handles, and 2 modified handles with the slot cut out. So let's assemble it together. First thing to do is to glue together your 2 blade pieces. I use hot glue gun because you know I love hot glue guns. They're very easy and quick and do a nice job. You can use regular PVA glue. You know, white cement, white glue will be fine for this. Now let's do the handle and blade assembly. Place one full handle down on the table, put glue on it, and then put a slotted piece right on top of it. Glue it right on. And clean up any glue in there, because the sword blade, the blade of the sword is going to go in there, so you don't want any glue as an obstruction. Looks good. Then glue another slotted piece on top of that one. And you know, you want this whole assembly to be nice and strong, so you probably can't use too much glue. Use plenty of glue or hot glue. And glue, right, there you go. You glue the second slotted piece right on top of that. Clean out that slot if it needs cleaning again. And then test your sword blade. Try to fit it in there. If it fits, you're good. If it doesn't fit, trim the blade or the handle as needed to fit it in there. And then apply a lot of glue, both to the edges and the flat surfaces. And slide that blade right in there. Nice and tight. Now apply glue to all of that and get glue in those slots there. And apply your final handle piece on top of that. So now the only thing remaining when it comes to making the sword is the blood groove or the fuller. But, well, actually, before we do that, we're going to do a couple other things. So what happens is that you have an assembly that is at the blade is 2 stacks in thickness, and at the handle is 4 stacks in thickness, and that means there's going to be some irregularities amongst the pieces. So you can go ahead and use a knife to trim those down, to clean them up, make them all very even, and then sand it all smooth. And do this all the way around the sword, including the blade, and your sword will look much nicer. Cleaner and more like metal. Now let's do the fuller. You still have your template. Place that on your sword like this. And then using a ruler, draw on those lines, causing an indent in the foam board that you can see. And you can do it freehand, but I like using a ruler so you can keep those lines nice and straight. So use a straight edge. It'll make a difference. That fuller, if it's nice and crisp, it makes a difference in how the sword looks. So try to get it nice and crisp. But now there's indents in that. You can go ahead and use a ruler again, see the indents, and draw pencil lines on them so you can see them. So now, if you wanted to, you could just go ahead and paint that out a different color, like a gray or something, that fuller. But we're going to remove the paper and shape it. So cut on all the lines all the way around the fuller, 360 degrees all the way around it. Cut out, in other words, cutting out that fuller. And if you can try to remove the top layer of paper, exposing the foam. Sometimes, depending on the foam board you use, it can be difficult. Like there, some of it came up and some of it didn't. If you can see that line, that angle line there. So I got some of the paper and some of it didn't come. That's okay. Here's that technique on easily removing paper from foam board. So it's like magic. So you want to use some kind of a chemical, and I'm using Goof Off to dissolve the adhesive. So you want to localize it, so you put it on a Q-tip and then wet the paper with it. And just where you wet it, it will dissolve the adhesive. It's really kind of neat. And the Q-tip is so you can be very focused with it. Put it only exactly where you want it. Now watch this. Now I had trouble removing that paper, I don't anymore. Now even the scraps of paper, or partial, half-thick paper, comes right up easily, just like that. There you go. Doesn't that look good? That's very nice. All the foam is exposed, and we're going to work with that. And if you don't have goof off, you can use nail polish remover, which is acetone. Works just as well. It dissolves the glue. So watch this. Watch how fast it goes. Just like that. No pause. Just wet it down and then peel the paper. Perfect. Okay, so now the fuller. We want that fuller to have like a half pipe kind of shape to it, because that's what the real blood groove is like. So you can use your finger and sandpaper to just slowly shape that foam into a nice curve. You could probably put a pencil, wrap a pencil with sandpaper and use it that way as a tool. All right, so that's it. The fuller's done. Now a couple of details. Draw a line there, and the point isn't the pencil line, the point is the indent. So you want to press hard there and around the pommel, finishing the shape of the pommel, and pressing down firmly so the foam board is indented, and that's what will show up after we paint it, is that indent. Makes it look like separate pieces of metal. Let's paint it. Paint the whole thing black. That includes the hand, the grip, the pommel, the guard, and the blade and fuller. And the reason why we start with black is because it gives it a rich base. It's almost like a priming. And then we paint some of it silver, most of it silver, including the pommel, the guard, and the blade. And I did 2 coats for a richer silver. Once this coat is dry, you can paint it again, because silver, acrylic silver paint isn't really that silver. And it's kind of silver. If you wanted real silver, you'd have to use a spray paint. And then when I painted the blade, I had a decision to make. I wanted to try to see how it looked with the fuller, or the blood groove, remaining black. And I kind of like it, but you could go either way. You just have to be careful if you do it that way. But you could paint the whole blade silver, all silver if you wanted, but see how that fuller is black? It looks kind of nice. And I've done this before. If you watch my videos, you probably remember, but I've also painted the fuller a different shade of silver. So that's it. We're going to seal it all off with a Mod Podge. And when you're Mod Podging it, or if you don't Mod Podge it, glue on your Templar crosses on the pommel. And I applied Mod Podge under it and then over it to seal it in place. But this gives it a nice shine, and it protects it, and it makes it look better. So a nice thick coat, and that Mod Podge dries clear. I think all Mod Podges dry clear. But they make a semi-gloss, and they make a gloss, they make a whole bunch of different types. So that's that. Just finish it all off by sealing and the whole thing. And you're done. And let's take a look at it. There we go. Your two-handed Templar sword. I think it's almost 40 inches long. Easy project. I give you the template. If you've never made one of my weapons, always wanted to make one, this is a nice place to start because it's a pretty nice assembly. Comes out good. Thanks. Which one do you like better? The one with the black blood groove fuller, like this? Or the one with the silver blood groove, like this? Leave me a comment, let me know. Black fuller or silver fuller? Thank you. Thanks for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing to my channel. If you're not a subscriber, hit that button. I always have lots of fun and interesting and very creative projects. I do 2 new ones every week. As an example, here's a couple more videos you might want to watch.